All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? This is Up with Slump. Welcome. I'm your gracious and equally out of pocket, off partner, Smokey Slump. And this is AUC's first official series that you'll be seeing probably like bi weekly. And this show is sponsored by everybody. It's sponsored by Nike, Adidas, Cash App, the cookie store on Melrose, Macy's, Del Fresco's, on Peachtree and ATL, the whole Lenox Mall, everybody. All right, so today we'll be talking about being young and black or old and orange and how you can penetrate the cannabis industry, right? We're going to break down how to go from 0 to 100, so to speak. Today we're featuring Money Man, and Money Man is a mega superhero trapper of all trappers and the white collar whisperer and the man who made $100K in a month off just selling old clothes from his closet. The first man to rap about the dark web, the grow god himself, right? And then we have another grow god, Josh Chase, the only black man the only black man I would say in Cali or pretty much out that's under 40 who owns and has franchised his own dispensaries throughout the country. Let's make some noise. All right. So today, streaming and content and weed, cannabis is similar to what we saw with Rockefeller, Carnegie, JP Morgan, Henry Ford. So now you can, today you can create generational wealth, and you can do so by just tapping into the knowledge. And why not bring two big guys that know what we're talking about to one spot? So we're going to give you the game. Josh, you got a lot going on. I left out 99% of what you do and who you are and so on and so forth. So just game the people up with what you got going on and what you do, what you bring to the community, if you can.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? Thank you for the olive branch. But yeah, man, I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time now. I'm 31 years old. I'm from East Oakland, California. I went to Oakland Public School District throughout my whole entire life, from kindergarten through 12th grade. After that, I got a college degree from Santa Clara University. That was during like the recession in 2008, the Freddie Fannie. So it really relied on people of color and really young entrepreneurs to really come to becoming an entrepreneur. It was a time where I was forced. So I couldn't go to San Francisco. I couldn't get a tech job. I couldn't, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what I couldn't do. So I ended up doing what I could do. And that was a lot of the cannabis industry during the time. It was Prop 215, which was a medical measure. I worked under the medical measure, grew a fair amount of cannabis throughout my time frame from being 19 to 21. Saved a lot of money, ended up getting an opportunity to go to Washington State. Did a whole entire stint there in which I owned a company called Kush Valley from 2012 to 2017. That company was sold for a fair amount of money. We were a top 30 company in the cannabis industry. After leaving Washington in 2017, reestablished myself in California because I have a lot of resources here, being from here. I was granted a couple different cannabis retail dispensary licenses. I currently have a dispensary that's up and running right now in the heart of Oakland, downtown, between 7th and 8th and Broadway. I have another one on the way. We also do distribution. We do delivery. I work with multiple different partnerships and just like really being a mover and shaker in the industry. We've grown to be, if not the largest, one of the largest cannabis operators in Northern California. And I'm just keeping striving and pushing every single day to keep building in my portfolio. And I'm using these times during COVID to keep capitalizing.
Awesome. So we just had Thanksgiving yesterday, man. How was y'all Thanksgiving? Money Man, I know you did like a vegan turkey drive, or what's up with that? What's going on with that?
No, I did. We did a giveaway downtown in Skid Row in Houston, and passed out like products to the homeless people and stuff like that. And then I did a vegan Thanksgiving invite only, and we had like pretty much vegan alkaline meals. Like we had like smoked mushrooms, fried mushrooms, greens, cabbage, asparagus, things of that nature, barbecue, cauliflower, stuff like that. We just tried something different this year.
So you for real had Thanksgiving with no meat at all, no fish, no nothing like that? It was just pure like vegan for real?
Yeah, for sure. Cause I eat like that anyway, but I'll still maybe like once or twice a year eat some fish, or if somebody like hunt some deer, I might eat some of that. just because that's kind of rare. But for the most part, 99.9% I eat vegan, plant based.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Josh, how was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was definitely different than the last years. I usually spend a lot of time with. I have a pretty big family. During COVID, trying to stay away from the older people in my family, we decided to do something more intermediate, which is my intermediate family. But it was super solid. I actually went to Filthy Rich's Turkey Drive down in Seminary. I'm also from the area that he's from, Seminary. So I went and checked that out. We chopped it up for a second, and Thanksgiving was another work day for me. You know what I mean? My store's open 365, 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day. So I had to keep it going. So I did a little stuff with my family, but I had 4 or 5 moves I had to bust, and they all got done.
Awesome. Cool. Well, y'all know Thanksgiving in Atlanta, it was just like a regular day, so everything was kind of dead. But not all the clubs, but lounges and stuff were open at night. So same old out here. So guys, I know you guys tapped in to the Gucci Man versus Jeezy versus battle, right?
Yeah.
Who do you guys think won? I think Gucci won personally, just because of my life experiences at the time when I was absorbing his music, where I was at the time, so on and so forth. I remember I was staying in the Bluff when Gucci Man hit. I just got out here, so and also being from East Oakland, I kind of was more attracted to Gucci's lane at the time. So y'all tell me what y'all thoughts were on the battle.
I grew up on the east side, so I listened to Gucci. Like, he stayed right up the street from me. I was growing up. We was listening to Gucci. We probably went 6 years listening to nothing but Gucci. So who we gonna rock with? Wow. But Jeezy did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went hard. But I'm from the east side. I'm from the same place. So every spot he named in the song, I done been there or kicked it there, so I can kind of relate more.
So you were actually down the street or a few blocks away from Gucci when he was Gucci Man, like the Gucci Man we know?
Yeah, all them songs he was playing, like, we was hearing them as soon as they came out. Like, most people was on Jeezy around that time. We was on WAP because he literally stayed walking distance down the street. So that's what we was rocking.
So you should see bruh out and about and all that, and it was no rap cat. He was what he was about for real, right?
Yeah, if you went to South DeKalb Mall, that's the hood mall over there in Decatur.
Yeah.
You'll see Gucci in there, going to Foot Locker or something like that. You'll just see him in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was really from that side, so that's what we rock.
Josh, who you think got that one?
I'm about to go on a similar opinion to you guys. Like, I'm about 31 years old, and during the time of me being in college and getting done with college, Trap Lord, Trap God, all those albums were dropping, DJ Esco. So at the time of me really trying to make money, I was listening to a lot of Gucci. I feel like Jeezy was just a little still in the time zone. I'm listening to a lot in high school. Like, at the end of the day, Jeezy, no disrespect to Jeezy, he still has a lot of good bangers, but the Gucci, I'm not from Atlanta, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that song really, the Gucci Mane songs really kind of hit home, during my experience of making the in the bag.
Hey, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Is that somebody got YouTube on or something?
No, it's not me.
All right. What is that? Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to deal with it. All right. So anyway,
Is somebody's phone messing up?
yeah, it's something. It's like some feedback going on, conversation or some kind of sort of. All right. Well, I guess we just chilling for Money Man to come back. But
yeah, I'm guessing it was his feed.
Yeah. The next thing I was going to talk about while we wait for him to come back is, so about the whole King Von thing, right? What happened, him and Rondo getting into it and all that.
Of course.
So tonight in Georgia, We actually have Quando Rondo is performing.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't he just release a video a couple of nights ago dressed as Vaughn?
Something like that. I don't know the details. I think they were saying he was dressed as bruh, the alleged,
Oh, the murder.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know the details on
I
that.
listened to the song. I think it was called like "End of Story" or something like that. I think that was the song.
Okay.
That was the song he released like last week or so. At the end of the day, man, like that whole shit is sad because we're all black people dying. You know what I mean? And I get it. People have issues and problems and stuff like that. But, that was, it doesn't matter who it is. If they're making money and they're spreading it through the community, that's felt. That's felt beyond Vaughn's family. That's felt beyond his community. That's felt everywhere.
Yeah. So welcome back, Money Man. So what I was asking Josh is, we were talking about the Quando Rondo, King Von thing that happened, right? And so tonight, as you can see, bruh is performing in Georgia. So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts about that whole situation? I know it's a touchy subject. There's a lot of people passing away as of late in rap. What are your feelings about that? And also, do you feel that rap is actually a dangerous sport?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm having technical difficulties a little bit, but you was asking about Quando Rondo performing in Georgia?
Yeah, he's performing tonight.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's to speak on people's situation like that because I know it's real touchy. So, as far as my opinion on it, I really don't have an opinion on it. It's a tragic situation. Like, I feel like some people aren't meant to coexist.
Kind of breaking up.
Exist and mix and mingle, or it's gonna.
You back?
Yeah, I'm about to I'm gonna switch over to this other phone that has way better service. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about that.
Well, all right. Guess we're waiting on Money Man to get back. So, what are your feelings about rap being a dangerous sport? Because this year's been crazy, man. We done lost King Von, Mo3, Pop Smoke, Huey. There was a shooting with there's a popping rapper, bro. You should check him out. His name is Honeycomb Brazy. He goes crazy. He put some footage on his live about something. Hold on, he's back.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm back live now. We good.
Okay, cool. Now, so what I was saying, what I was asking Josh was, do you think that rap is for real a dangerous sport? So I forgot who said that earlier this year. Somebody said rap is dangerous. And I think Waka Flocka was like, nah, that's just how you move and the energy you bring and what you rap about. But this year we see people like King Von, Mo3, Pop Smoke, Huey pass away. I was just talking about there's a rapper that's lit, bro. His name is Honeycomb Brazy. He goes crazy, but he put some footage up of something that went down in his house. That was he put it on his Instagram the other day. Fresher, rapper in Brooklyn, he got robbed and beat up and all that. Benny, we see Boosie. They shooting at the Apple store at Lenox like a few days ago. So what's your take on all this? You think it's because the corona? You think it's people just going crazy and people just gangbanging crazy in lyrics? What do you honestly think is like an OG, so to speak? You around all these people?
Oh, I just feel like people is kind of like people like to see that type stuff. They like to see action. So if you got some action going on, they're gonna elevate you, and then when you die, they're gonna miss you. But I feel like people want to see action. It's like me, I want to see action movies and I want to see movies with killing in it. So when it happen in real life, that's what people gravitate. That's what they gravitate towards. Like, and then a lot of people be having smoke before they get into the music industry, and it just bleed over. So if you finna elevate above your enemies, they want to go ahead and stop you because you could come back and empower your people to wipe them out. So they got to stop you before you get all that money to come wipe them out. Because you know it's deep rooted. It ain't just what's on the surface. Like people not just getting killed for no reason. Like they probably grew up, they probably got inherited beef and all kind of stuff that came with it, and they just happen to be rappers because you know everybody rap now. So if you banging and then you rap and you got a song and you beefing with Woo Wah Woo them over here, and you just happen to blow up, they got somebody who rap over there too, and y'all might bump heads somewhere and do a show together. It's just kind of hard. It's real touchy. But like I said, I don't like to get in between people like beefs like that or nothing like that. But I
Yeah.
just know sometimes people can't coexist. Like everybody be like, we need to have peace and this and that. Our own country don't even have peace. Trump no got peace. He was just talking about, he was just woofing at Iran, talking about he was going to blow them out the water.
Mm.
So the standard that's set, it show us how to act. Like our country don't have peace with nobody. So like if our country ain't at peace, ain't nobody else gonna be at peace. That's how I feel. It's a trickle down effect.
So I ain't gonna lie, I'll be watching other podcasts and stuff because there's some good content out there. I watched the JVP show, the Joe Budden podcast. I watched $1 Million Worth of Game. Watch a lot of different things, and one thing I noticed is that a lot of people who aren't from Atlanta, their take on Atlanta is that all the rappers get along, right? So on the outside looking in, they thinking everybody gets along, but that's really not the case. As somebody that stays here, can you speak to that, or is that true in your world, like in the studio and all that?
I mean, I don't too much intermingle with a lot of artists, but I'm cool with all of them. But I mean, you know, folks got their differences out in the A. Like it ain't like everything just sweet. Like people really got their differences going on, but outside of that, it's not all over the internet. Like
Yeah,
they not making it well known. Everybody else make it well known. Like, a lot of people use that to blow themselves up. They get in beef with somebody and that elevate them. They taking like, I guess they watch 50 Cent or something like that, and they feel like, oh, I can beef with somebody and it'll blow me up. And it really do because everybody start looking. It's just they crash out at the end of the day. Like it can come with real consequences from doing that. But the A got his beef. It's just one thing I noticed, they not putting it out. They don't run to the internet every time something happens.
All right. And then what do you guys feel about the decriminalization of just everything from boy to girl to tree in Oregon? I know you guys have heard about that. Yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it definitely is interesting. Other countries in Europe have done that, like the legalization, and they actually find through data that it lowers the crime rate because if you have a substance that is in demand, you have more crime. Just like money, people when they want things, they go and get it, and they whatever happens. Like in Argentina and different places, they've legalized these drugs and it actually lowers the rate. The big question is, will that same thing happen in America? We have a completely different variable mathematical setting than a place in Europe. But it's definitely interesting. I will also say that it's one good thing for the industry. There's one good thing about the community. But at the end of the day, you also don't want to, with legalizing cannabis, you don't want to drive the prices so low that, no one makes money on it. That also is something that is in question in Oregon.
Right. All right. What you about to say, Money Man?
Oh, I agree with bro. I feel like, I mean, they shouldn't be locking up like people who just smoking weed with pedophiles and stuff like that. Like they just need to legalize. I don't. I mean, they legalizing everything, so they legalizing crack and all and dog food and all that, right? I mean, you don't want your kids to be junkies. You feel me? Like I'm
Right,
talking about like hard and dog food and all that. So you got to kind of watch your kids. You know what I'm saying? But as far as weed goes, it shouldn't be nobody who got some grams on them getting locked up in these country cities with everybody else who done did rape and pedophilia and all that type of stuff. That's just how I feel.
Well, what do you guys think about the price of the black market just across the globe? You think it's gonna positively impact it? You think it's going to negatively impact it? Now, also keep in mind the Corona stuff has affected border controls, just packages delivered, all that kind of stuff. We ain't got to get into the details, but how do you think? What's the overall effect of all that stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of different, right? So now we're talking about economics. It's the same thing with the fires have been a big thing this year. A lot of the farms in California were burnt down, like almost like 80 or 90% of the square canopy. So that kind of goes into it too. But the black market, it depends on if we're talking about the black market in California, black market in the United States, the black market in Europe. You know, the black market always kind of depicts the legal side of things. Like, so like in Washington, Oregon, and Colorado, they realize that once the black market price hits the same price as the legal weed stores, people start to drift away from the black market because they want stuff tested. They want to go into the store. They want to have a whole entire experience. But at the end of the day, we're also talking about cannabis in a place where majority of the country is not legal yet. So there's always going to be a black market no matter where you go. It's just a matter of how expensive that black market is and if the consumer and the people of the area will want to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now the prices are astronomical because we have fires, we have border control, we have COVID, we have a whole bunch of different circumstances that make it expensive. Plus also, you know, we're just harvesting Croptober. End of October in California is when all the big plants, thousands and thousands of pounds comes down. People think that right away it hits, but no, you got to cure it, dry it, hang it, sell it. It's a whole entire process before Croptober actually hits it and then goes out. Like when I was originally,
you called it Croptober?
That's what we call it in California, Croptober. It's October. It's when the prices just drop. They just drop right down. You know what I mean? Like right in October, end of October in California, you know, your indoor stuff, you're relying on your indoor because people have to grow that. They grow that all year round. But when Croptober and people have good looking depths and outdoor that can pass as indoor, that's when it changes up the market space because people anywhere might be like, hey, you know, I might not want to buy a $4,500 pound. Maybe I'd rather get a $2,000 pound and see what I can do with it. So yeah, in October, it just completely changes. And then in California, we go through January, and then you really, the drought starts as the summer months come, as the outdoor is already done with, smoked up, and the indoor goes back to only indoor growing. That's why during the summer months, you have high prices. During fall, through winter, prices start to go low, and it's a constant circle up and down. And that same cycle is in legal cannabis too. Like I'm dealing it right now. My prices at my store were a little bit higher before Croptober. Now I'm seeing prices like every couple of days. I take 5 to 10 different vendor meetings. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'm really trying to solidify myself into the cannabis world, and I really want people to reach out to me too. You know, that want to be involved in the cannabis setting that do have a following. Like Money Man, you have a great following. I would love to, you know, introduce you to a place in California where you can potentially make some money and we can work together. But at the end of the day, California is the dynamic of what is happening across the globe. And that's why you see prices changing. You really just is about tapping into California.
I heard that. So speaking of high weed prices, right? What do you think about what I'm about to show? I'm about to show you something.
Okay.
I'm gonna get your reaction. So Wiz said this, right? Hold on. He said he don't buy weed off the street anymore, but Atlanta got some of the worst prices, right? And this is the price he said.
What that price say?
800.
Zip in Atlanta.
How much that say?
Indoor, you feel me? Like some indoor, you feel me? He's saying it's 800 a zip.
Oh yeah, he's capping. I mean, he Wiz Khalifa, so they gonna tax him.
You think he gonna tax?
Yeah, because 800, that's dispensary prices.
Right.
Yeah. You could buy it by the eighth at my store for damn near cheaper than that. Like you can get some lumpies and some runts and some cookies and some connected and some alien labs, all the top hitters for that price. But I will say you can't just say that's super cap because it could be that 1 ounce could be from like a famous grower. You know what I mean? And there are people they're small pocketed growers that are well known in the cannabis industry. They don't do it for the money. They grow personal supply. And if you want some of their personal supply and they have that big old name in cannabis, like the fathers of cannabis, $800. It's almost like buying an art piece.
I agree.
It's not about the weed. It's about like the name that you're getting behind it and just being an experience in that.
I agree with it. But I feel like real exotic cost anyway. Like if you want a real exclusive strain,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to pay a little higher for it anyway. You can't penny pinch. It's like with anything else. You're not gonna get a Lamborghini for, you get what I'm saying, for a Honda price. So
Yeah. Exactly.
you gotta pay.
You gotta pay. You gotta pay. When weed's expensive right now, a lot of the indoor, if you want something with color and crystals and 3.5 gram nugs, and you want to roll something in a wood and have your friends hit it and not make fun of you, that shit costs. Like I smoke pretty much only high end ace, about an eighth a day of just the finest weed. So I can't even at this point, man, I can't go back to smoking mids. I have to smoke only a god.
I love them connected strains too. Them connected strains go crazy.
Yeah, dude, you should, next time you're in the Bay Area, bro, you should hit me up. We could do a whole taste test, man. We can get it going. Like I know hella farms, and you can come. I really want to. I wish I could pick the camera up right now and show you guys the store. But we have like 900 SKUs of hella products, from drinks and I've been on the cannaline lately. The cannaline is really throwing in a fancy. That's how I've been doing it. We have like about 120, 140 different types of weed, man. Everything from we're a crazy store because we're in downtown Oakland. It's not San Francisco. It's not New York. But we have all levels of income. I have people that come to my store, buy $5 joints and come buy $110 ace. But I would love to connect, man. If you want to come, and I really, like, can show you some type of weed that, will be fire to smoke. We can sit back. I'll show you around Oakland and shit. You should just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna come tap in for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So Josh, you were talking about colors and stuff like that. So it trips people out, right? So people come to me, I got some fire. And then as soon as I breathe on it, I'm like, okay, this hasn't been fleshed all the way. It's super harsh. The ashes are crazy. The color, like people go crazy over the color. I'm like, bro, you could trick it if you just grow it like in cold temperature. You know what I'm saying? So people are starting to get gamed up with it. Little people are starting to get game tight with the stuff, right? And they actually finessing. So what trends are you seeing people do to get over? So for example, some of the trends I've seen are people taking the CBD and they spraying with isolate. They taking what's the other thing? Oh, this is nasty, right? They're taking baking soda and putting it on the tree. Because if you put
baking soda, right, with the purples and all those Instagram shots.
Well, yeah, if you put it in a hole, you feel me? Then you can get like an extra zip or two out of it. You know what I'm saying? Then this is even nastier. This is even nastier, right? They're putting the fent in it. You feel me? And that kind of scared me. That scared me. So that made me be like, okay, I can't. Like going to the gas station, that's out. That's like out, bro. Like you can't go to the gas station because you might get the fent pack. You know what I mean? So what are you guys seeing as trends, this finesse BS stuff to people? Because they pass a rabbit food thing. You know what I mean?
There's tons of booth stuff out there. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's tons of people that are doing it. First off, the biggest booth is weed names. Everything is not runts. Everything is not cookies. Everything is not gelato, right? So the biggest thing I see is people growing stuff like Blue Dreams and things that have high ass yields and getting those off as trying to get them as exotics. You're always going to have those funky people that try to add color and dye. I spent a lot of my time, like my history, I started growing weed. I've grown thousands and thousands of plants, 30,000 square feet. I had a 20 acre farm up in Washington. Like the key is about educating yourself. Go out and buy the Grow Bible. It's if you're going to smoke weed, it's a $15 book that you need to read before what you put in your body. You need to be able to identify powdery mildew, mold, bud rot, like all these things. If you're going to put it into your body, you need to be conscientious. And that's just how it kind of goes. So I see a whole bunch of stuff. When you're talking about the booth packs, yes, you see the CBD weed. They put the distillate on top. One of the biggest booths I've seen lately is really like, bro, weed is crazy because we got weed that we smoke, right? Joints and weed, but then you have extracts, oil, concentrates. And that's like real science. Like I ran an extraction lab for 5 years. That is real chemist stuff. And as people get smarter and smarter, what they're doing now is they're taking CBD oil and they can reverse that into Delta 8 cannabis, THC. So they're taking something that's like $600 liters and making it $3,500 liters. And that's a big one I've been seeing is a lot of those pens and carts that you're having on those marketplace, these years, you're going to get a lot of CBD oil that really doesn't even get you high. So that's the way, dude, it's like people are always gonna, if there's a market to fake something, people are gonna fake it. You know what I mean? The key is just finding a grower or establishment. That's why, like, with my store, we slowly, at first we didn't have 1 million customers, but at the end of the day, we've developed 15,000 customers now because we just don't take advantage of our consumers. We always got good prices. We always do quality control because there's always ways that people can get away. Like the whole bags. That bag shit is crazy. You can go to the Trap District in downtown LA and buy any single booth bag you want to. It's not about the bag. And really, watch out for the THCs too, because the highest THC doesn't always mean the best weed.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. What crazy things have you seen, Money Man? You seen anything wild? Like, bro, you can't do that, man. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't see too much wild because I mess with trusted individuals. I either go straight to the grower or I do small grows for my per se myself. Because personally, I like organic weed. Like I like it be kind of tasting like the earth. It's crazy how they explain it. But I mess with rents. I mess with all connected strains, the Gelinade, the Gelato. I think they got the Gelato 41 and Biscotti, all that type of stuff. Alien Labs too. But the one thing I be telling people, 95% of the weed be bad anyway. It be some BS to me.
Yeah.
It's only like 5% that be good. So most of the weed that be sent down be kind of BS or it be mild to me. Like if you really want something good, you got to know who you dealing with and a trusted individual. So and then when I heard fentanyl was in weed, I was like, yeah, I'm not finna be out here just buying weed from nobody anyway. That's like when everybody was buying them fake pills and just dying off of them. You can't. That's something you put in your body. You can't just buy. That's like going to somebody who say they a doctor and they not really a doctor.
Yep. Exactly.
So you gotta just whatever you put in your body, you need to take pride in, and you need to. That's why I say good weed's not cheap. People be trying to cut corners and go to somebody who's cheaper, and you got baking soda all over yourself now. You feel me?
Yeah. So Money Man, I'm gonna quote you, right? Let me look in my white collar Bible and quote you, right? So on Amazon, you said, "R.I.P. Nip, I'm burning on marathon," end quote, right?
Yeah.
So who out here who's a celebrity or rapper has some real gas? Like, and then I also noticed, like, for example, like your boy Pee Wee, he got the sprinkles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that. That shit go crazy, right? So who out here with some for real deal? Because I'm seeing a lot of people just coming up with strains, and I know it ain't, I know it's not like that. You know what I mean? Who can you vouch?
I ain't had too many people strain. I know Long Ways go crazy. I know Bag, Money Bag got the Money Bag rant, so his go crazy. Mm-hmm. My boy Rockstar Rody got the Rockstar rants. Don't Rody got the Rockstar rants? Got the Rockstar rants, I believe. I know that's gonna go crazy because it's up under that brand. But I ain't really seen too many people with crazy strains. I got like 5 strains coming with Turtle Pie. So I'm gonna have some, but I ain't really seen too many. I ain't really smoked too many people's strains. I know a year or two ago I was smoking Chief Keef strain and it was burning too. He had Keef, I think it was. I forgot the name of it, but I used to get it when I was down in Miami from his people. But other than that, I ain't really smoked too many people's strains because once I get hooked on something, I be on it. Like I like the connector strains right now, and ain't nobody name attached to them, so I really can't say too much.
Hey, do you like to, once you find a good weed, you like to just keep smoking that same thing?
Yeah, because I smoke for the taste. Like I want something flavorful and that get you high. Yeah. But I ain't trying to have nothing that just sit me down for the whole day because I'm still trying to be productive while I'm smoking. Because I smoke, sometimes I go on a weed fast for a few months. Then when I'm back smoking, I want something that's going to keep me going. Like I want to be able to exercise. I want to be able to think clearly, record. So I don't need just nothing that just, some weed just make you go to sleep, man. It just put you on down.
Yep. So I'm kind of a little bit of the opposite, right? No, not in that. I want to also get an upper weed. I feel like weed just keeps me motivated throughout my day to keep on going. You know what I mean? But I like to smoke something like every day, something different throughout the week, because no matter what I'm smoking is going to be gas, and whatever I'm smoking is going to be in a smaller quantity. So I kind of like to. I feel like sometimes if I smoke the same thing all week, my tolerance starts to build quicker at the end of the week than if I'm switching it up, going through different cannabinoids, doing different THC levels. And that such.
Oh, now I can smoke the same weed strain for 2 weeks straight because I know what results it's gonna give me. But I can eat the same meal every day. Like I can eat the same every day of the week. I can eat the same thing. Never get tired of it.
It saves time, right? If you don't choose, you have to choose your clothes out or what food you eat every day. You save a couple hours every day.
Yep.
I think Steve Jobs said that. That's why he used to wear just black and his ensemble, because he didn't have to worry about getting dressed every day. He put the same thing on, and it saved him energy that he could think about producing products.
So,
you know, that's crazy. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, my bad. Keep going, Money Man.
Nah. I wasn't finna say nothing. You can go ahead.
So speaking about wearing the same stuff every day and habits of millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, right? A lot of times when you watch podcasts interviewing these people or you read their books, right, they talk about being successful because they adhere to a certain routine, right? And that's true. Everybody I know that's successful, they have a certain routine. So what are your routines? And I mean like as detailed as like I get up, I make my bed, I go, I work out, I check the farm. Like what is your daily routine that brought you to where you're at right now?
You want to go first, Josh, or you want me to go?
Oh yeah, I'll shoot it out. No problem. So I'm like a scheduled dude. I've always been like that. I like to have a to-do list, not even in like a calendar form. I like to see it as a list. So every Sunday I'm going through, and it's not even a matter about doing what you need to do. It's about doing what you should do. So I'm a little different from me than everyone else. Everyone else's to-do list usually is like what they have to do. I add things in my to-do list to expand into doing delivery, expand into white labeling. I try to challenge myself every week. So every day I wake up off the bat, have to read my email. Then I look through my to-do list to see if I need to add anything to the to-do list. And then that whole entire day, besides a little hour working out 4 or 5 days a week, I try to just accomplish that to-do list. And that could be anything from personal objectives, from getting an oil change, or anything to having an interview with you guys. Today I talked to my attorney, my accountant. I took multiple meetings, to different Zoom calls. So my thing is just about being nimble. If I need to go to Atlanta, I'm there. If I need to go to Los Angeles, but I always hit that to-do list. My life is constantly changing and shifting, but that to-do list always gets done. And that's kind of how I organize my lifestyle of what I want to do. But then you also have to spend time going above and beyond of getting to that extra, because that extra is what's going to get you the bag. Doing just what you need to do is just going through the motions, expanding, taking risks. Like, you know what I mean? I don't shoot dice or like gamble at the casinos, but every day I gamble on something new. Like I'm right now I'm gambling on an event company that I'm about to open. Once COVID is done, we're going to sell cannabis legally throughout events in California. So I'm trying to team up with everyone. So my thing is about staying to that regimen, getting that regimen done, and pushing it, and just trying to work just as hard as everyone else, if not harder, to get to my goals.
Awesome.
Every day I wake up and do pretty much the same thing every day. I work out. The first thing I do is work out, and then second I listen to some beats. Like I make sure I listen to some beats every day because my producers just flood me with them, so I gotta listen to keep up. And then I record. And then I pretty much network. Like I call people and check in and see what's going on with this, what's going on with that. Because, you know, I like to stay on top of my money. They say if you don't watch it, then you must want to lose it. So I just try to put money here and put money there to see what's going to pop off so I can triple and quadruple my money. But that's every day. It's an everyday thing. But honestly, this is my routine, right? I wake up, I work out, I listen to beats. I might go to the shooting range. And that's about it. Other than that, I got a few partners I pull up on so we can brainstorm. I'm always brainstorming about something though. I think a lot. Like it's like I be having to smoke to calm down. That'd be a thing too. Like it's too many thoughts in my head, so I gotta smoke just to calm on down.
Well, speaking of always getting money, on 24 you said you can make a cool 50K in 24 hours. Can you give us any kind of sauce about how we could do that, man?
Man, I can't get a sauce. I wish I could, man, but I can't get a sauce. It'll be to my own detriment. You feel me?
Yeah. 100%.
But it's definitely ways out here to make some quick money. The internet here now, that the internet made it fast money. You still got to put in work, but I feel like the internet is like Vegas. You can hit that jackpot real quick if you know what you're doing and you invest in the right thing.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right, so now we're going to get more into the meat of everything. You know what I mean? As far as the whole cannabis industry is related, which is why everybody's tapping in, right? So, pretty much, Josh, I'm gonna ask you this, right? How can a young black guy, I would say early 20s or teens, let's start with teens. If I want to get into the industry, how can I get into the industry, but not just get into the industry? I want to be that guy. You feel me? I want to have a chip. And I know there's different monetizable verticals within the industry, such as delivery, packaging, this, that, and the third. Break down some of the ways that you can get into the industry that some people don't know about. And then also, I want to get into the step by step, not too detailed because you can't give up the game for free, but we will be offering that as an option soon. But just like, how would you go about getting a retail space? And Money Man, you too, I also want to hear from you as to like, how would you go about just tackling the market, getting into it, some things that you've experienced and gone through, right? So,
Okay.
So Josh, you wanna head that for us?
Yeah, no, totally. So it's different nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a completely different game. You can't go and sell dime sacks on the corner. Like, weed is legalized. People are growing it. It is a completely different ballgame. So I tell everyone this, and it's not just my, I guess, like advice for people in cannabis. It's about advice for starting a business, period. So the key with a lot of people, they make mistakes in, and they don't realize that their business is not going to generate them revenue right off the bat. You need a long period of time of branding, building your business, getting your staff. Everybody needs to get lined up. So what I always tell them is you need to have a steady plan. Like Money Man was saying, he likes to brainstorm. He likes to put things into motion. At the end of the day, you need to have a good plan. You need to take as much time as you need to make a good plan, a good business plan, a strategic model. After making that model and asking people and taking surveys to see if people would buy your product, you need to then go and save money. A lot of people think, oh, I could just quit my job. It's good. I'm going to start a business tomorrow. I'm going to be okay. But at the end of the day, that's not how that goes. You have to have a certain amount of money saved. You need to be able to generate a certain amount of income. So my second thing is saying, hey, you need to have a certain amount of money saved. You need to have some business projections of how much it's going to cost. And you also need to mark in your living costs. If your rent's $3,200 and you drink another $1,000 worth of alcohol and food every single day or every single month, you need to have all those numbers lined up. So that's the first off thing from this normal business. The second, I guess the third step of that is the cannabis industry. Is you want to find an industry that is not yet legalized. Right now, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, California, those places are already too big. It's like the difference between trying to start a movie theater in I guess a production facility in California in comparison to in Missouri. You're obviously going to have a lot more success in a smaller place, being a big fish in a small pond. So you got to find a place where weed is not legal. And then you need to expand into that area, getting yourself comfortable with the city commissioners, with the mayor, with different politicians and lobbyists in your area for them to fight for you to get a license. Because a lot of the crazy thing about weed, these licenses are capped. You can't just go and not everyone can start a delivery service or whatever they want to do. It's just like taxis. You can't have an unlimited amount of taxis in the city. Each city gives away things called coins. You can have, per coin, you can have a certain amount of cars. So you really have to find a situation where you're early to that market space. And that's why I'm so interested in Atlanta. Atlanta has not yet legalized. I'm trying to take over a small market share and work with people in that area to help them develop something that I've developed here where they are with their particular clout. So it's about finding a place where it's not yet legalized. After that, you have to prove your track record. Who's going to invest in you if you've never grown weed before? By the time I ever took my first investment from a venture capitalist or from any type of an investor, I was maybe 22 years old, and I had already made hundreds and thousands of dollars growing weed for myself. That's how I got that investment. You need to make sure that you have that experience. That is called bootstrapping. You need to bootstrap your business to a point where someone wants to invest in you. And then after all that is said and done, you need to make sure you have your CPA ready, your accountant, your lawyer, and make sure all your paperwork is right. A lot of people in the cannabis industry, even some of the biggest people, the biggest brands, I'm not going to say who they are because they're not paying me to say so, But at the end of the day, you have to have everything ready. You need to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed, because a lot of people lose businesses to not being compliant, not staying within the laws, to bullshit investors that gave them a little bit of money, to haters, whatever it might be. So you need to make sure that you are fully tight in your business model. And then the next step to that is putting your head down and working. It takes multiple years. I've been open, my store has been open for 1 year. It took me 3.5 years to get to us being open for a year. It took us multiple years of licensing. So you need to make sure that you have hustles on hustles to pay for your hustles and not to give up, because you're going to want to give up. Success is 2 steps after you think you're going to fail. So you need to keep going and be strong minded and keep pushing forward. The strong will prevail. And that's what I tell a lot of young entrepreneurs when I go and talk to different places. That at the end of the day, if you stay focused and you want what you want, you can go and get that. It's attainable. But if you fuck it off and you want to go to the club instead of waking up early the next day when you have a business model, you will be in the club the rest of your life. So you need to be dedicated, just like any athlete is. I learned a lot from playing baseball throughout my lifetime.
I agree with bro. You want me to do a little deep dive real quick?
Sure.
I feel like I agree with everything he said as far as the small like details and everything. You know, he would know more than me because he has an actual cannabis shop running right now over in Oakland. But I was gonna say the same thing, like it's saturated out that way. So if you're in a city where it's not legalized yet, that's your home base, then you need to be ready as soon as it hit to be trying to set up your grow or your cannabis business ASAP. That's why when he said get relationships with the mayor and all that type of stuff, you need to have your relationships on point, because they don't, if I'm not mistaken, they only give out a certain amount of licenses. So you want to be one of those people in the loop who's gonna get one of those licenses ASAP. But like I said, he would have more more detailed information as far as starting it from the ground up, because you know I come more from the celebrity aspect. I put my face on things and I get my percentage and call it a day. I wear like 10 different hats, so I don't really have as much time to sit down and actually baby the business, because like I said, it's blood, sweat, and tears. You got to put your life into that business. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't, if I was somebody who just doing it just to be cool, I wouldn't do that. You can end up losing.
All right. So this is a perfect question for y'all to answer, right? Because y'all both know both sides of this. So, Money Man, I'm gonna quote you again, right? So on Risky, you said first you boost that credit, then you get a race car. So how important is credit in relation to getting into the industry?
I'll start off real quick. As far as credit, for the illegal states, I feel like it's gonna be real important, because I feel like by the time Atlanta legalizes it, they're gonna let you be able to put it in banks. So if you have a real high credit score and some type of income to show, I believe you'll be able to get a loan for that type of business because it makes so much money. This is just my predictions for the future. I pretty much be on point. As far as on the West Coast where it's already legalized, you'll have to ask him as far as what role credit plays. But I'm gonna tell you another play. I don't know if I should say it on here because you know the game is to be sold, not told, like you said. So I'm gonna leave that in my head real quick. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, credit is real important out here, not just for the cannabis industry, just period. Like at first, you know, people be like, you know how we are, man. I'm gonna cash out for this, cash out for that. But I went into a cell phone store. Nobody who came in there from a certain group of people paid $1 on their cell phone, and these was all millionaires who could cash out on whatever they wanted to, and they don't pay full price for nothing. They do everything on their credit to boost their credit up to the highest maximum amount. I was worth over $1 million, and I was trying to rent out houses at 1.23 years ago. I was trying to rent out mansions, only 5,000 a month. That wasn't really much to me at the time. I was doing 10, 15 shows a month for over $10,000, and nobody would rent me the house because of my credit and my criminal record. So I had to sell to an undercover charge at the time that I got expunged, and I had a few felonies, few misdemeanors, and my credit was bad. All that mixed in, and I couldn't even rent a house. I had over $1 million and couldn't rent a house. That's a problem. You get what I'm saying? So the money didn't even mean nothing. The money meant nothing to these people. My cash money meant nothing to these people. You know what I told them? I pay you the whole rent up front. They was like, nah, it's not that. We just don't want you in our house. You don't have good credit, so your face card is messed up. You know how you done ran off from a few plugs? That's what credit is. To them, you done ran off on a few people, so why would we give you something? Or why would we even want you around us? That's just how I feel how credit is. But I gotta get ready for this show. Yeah. It was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on. Until next time. And Josh, all love, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit you on the DMs, bro.
Yeah, hit me up. Yeah. Please hit me. Oh, hit me when you get off the thing right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you right.
My bro. All right. Love.
All right, man. So we're gonna continue. So back into the retail space side of things, right? That's more your specialty. So a lot of people, they assume it's just a money thing, right? Can you emphasize the importance of relationships, especially relationships with people in government, in the city, like city council and so on and so forth? And then also talk about, so a lot of times people, they'll work in a dispensary, right? They're working in a dispensary and they think that they're going to get rich. Or they work in a dispensary and they think that they're going to move up the ladder, right? But oftentimes you have an owner, and if anybody's going to move up the ladder, it's going to be a son or a son's college roommate's best friend. So if you could tackle that, the topic of relationships, nepotism, and or racism in the industry.
Yeah, no problem at all. I want to say
it's a big ass question, but
and I want to kind of address the last question too a little bit with credit. The credit is super solid. Money Man was right about weed not being federally legal. It will be soon, so we could bank. But the thing about credit is you need to have credit for yourself to get apartments and houses and such like that. But your business also has credit unless you're a sole proprietor. If you have an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp corporation, you also build credit within that company. So if you are going to start a business and rent a building through your business, you need to also have business credit. It is very important to have both sides of that, for getting money, getting loans, but also being able to start small contracts like Syntax and small people to come and clean your building. They don't want to give anything to you if not. And then to relationships are key. Like when I went to college, I had a whole bunch of different opportunities of where I could went. Could have went to Cal. I could have went to a whole bunch of different areas in California. I could have went to Hawaii. I was a good student in high school. You know what I mean? Went to Skyline High School. Shout out to Skyline.
Skyline.
Shout out to Skyline. You know what I mean? I went to, I had good grades. Like school wasn't that hard for me. I was a 4-year varsity athlete. And at the end of the day, like it's all about relationships. And what I kind of developed when I went to college, the reason I went to Santa Clara University, which is a pretty much primarily white Jesuit school, instead of going to Cal, is because your network is your net worth. I now know tons of people that are from families of money, billionaires, trillionaires. It's not just about the money. It's about that ideology and being around those people. Being a young kid from East Oakland and then going from being in a situation where none of my friends really had cars to being friends that had exotic cars like Aston Martins and such like that. It was a completely different circumstance. My network has really brought me where I was today. If I didn't meet those kids in college, I would have never went to Washington. If I never went to Washington, I would have never got the experience to start in California. And I would have just been like any other guy transitioning into Prop 215. So I've always taken a step further than just my normal network. Like you probably see how I network. You might get a random DM from me. I'm really not looking for anything from people. I'm just looking to connect and see if we can put things together. So even, it could be a small, unpopular person that I reach out to, or it could be someone very large. So you always want to have it's not just about clout. It's not just about knowing famous people. It's about knowing your city council members and even knowing who they are, giving money back to your community, doing community cleanup days and all those kind of things really goes to growing your network. And at the end of the day, I do see situations that come to maybe different types of racism or nepotism and those different types of things. But at the end of the day, I try to get myself in situations where no one can depict my future. I depict different types of future. And I said, maybe it's one thing if I'm a black man, I can't get into a bank or something like that. But when it comes down to it, I don't want to work with somebody that doesn't want to work with me based off my race. I put myself in situations where I'm the leader. I'm the boss of the situation. I depict the arena. So you can't come at me and say, oh, Josh is black, we're not going to work with him. You have no choice but to work with me. And you will see, like, at the end of the day, you definitely see a lot of social things affecting different people's lives, especially when you guys get to where you guys are in Atlanta and such. But, you know, there's always going to be pockets of racism people. And it comes down to sometimes situations where, you know, it's not that they hate black people, they hate people of color. They just aren't confident in themselves enough to be like, hey, yeah, I'm working with this black guy, or my partner is a black person, and going back to their family. We haven't been out of racism for that long. Slavery was not that long ago. People are still alive from slavery. So, you know what I mean? Some things is like, imagine someone that has a racist slave owner family, but the grandson is not racist at all. He still has to go to his family and talk to them and feel accepted. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, you got to put yourself in situations that no one else, sorry, my lights are about to go out, that no one else can really depict it. No one else can change your overall circumstance.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's funny because people are so shocked about all the things that are going on in the country socially, and they fail to realize that the civil rights movement was in the 1960s, which is 60 years ago, which is, if you're 30 something, that's your parents. Your parents were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that time. Your grandparents were like 30 something, you feel me? And they're still alive. So it's a whole shift. You know, of course, there's no excuses for it at all, you know. And I'm not saying that I do understand it, but it's very interesting how much things have changed, but they haven't changed, because it's impossible for those to change when you have people that are still living with certain thought constructs. You know what I mean?
Yep. Racism is healed over time. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even that many generations from slavery. You know, people are driving muscle cars from the civil rights movement, and they don't even realize 1960s Mustangs and Chevrolets and all those things. That was during a time when that could have been owned by someone that was racist and could have been openly racist. And at the end of the day, man, racism is not going to be gone until hate's gone. And just like Money Man was saying earlier about us being at war with the Middle East, how can we expect anyone to be at peace? You know, it really comes to, you know, there's 7 billion people or something in the world. It's going to take time and energy, and then we're going to have new problems. Just like in my store, like, I solve a problem and then there's a new problem. And that's just how life is.
Right. So a lot of people well, it's human nature for us to compare. You know what I mean? They say, don't compare, just look forward. I mean, yeah, but that's capped to a certain example. There is no definition of anything without comparison. There is no understanding of light without understanding dark. Hence, there's a comparison, right? So I say that to say, I'm going to bring this up because I don't know if you guys are competitors or not, but people can better understand what you have going on when they can relate it to something that's relatable to them. So what's most relatable to people watching would be the cookies brand. So how does your store, your endeavor compare to what Cookies is doing? Are they competitors? Are they partners? And like, if you can comment on that, would be dope.
Yeah, no problem at all. Cookies are a competitor and partner, actually. So Cookies, a lot of people don't realize, they're separated in 2 separate sides. They have their retail side that are owned by their conglomerate / a local owner. And then they also have their manufacturing distribution side where they actually make products. So we actually have cookies. We sell cookies, actual cookies from the cookies vendors. And we also are only 10 blocks away. So on the retail side, we are competitors. And then on the other side, we're partners. They are a much bigger establishment than I am right now. I'm actually working myself back to start doing white labeling, but they're focused on.
What is white labeling for people that don't know?
Okay, so white labeling is when you take a product that you didn't manufacture and you slap your label on it. So you find, because like, why would I make a whole grow, do a whole grow process when I could just buy it and repackage it. And that's what Cookies does. They buy it from other growers and they repackage it under their brand name. So yes, they are a competitor, but they also are a partner. Since we're they're about 10 blocks away from us on the other side of downtown. But I will say there's a thing called in economics called the invisible hand. The invisible hand depicts the marketplace. And sometimes having a competitor in your area is not always bad. So now, because Cookies has been open in a similar area, people are aware of all the other dispensaries in the area that they might have brought their demographic. So we actually, a lot of times, even some of the Cookies managers, the workers, even their customers, they actually end up coming down and shopping to us because of our wide variety, wide SKUs. We are a different type of business model. So where we are different is that, but where we are similar is we both are building a brand. We both have a strong brand in the Bay Area. It's just we come from two different sides of the business strategy. They're more of the branding, selling their brand, licensing deal. I'm more about trying to solidify a healthy business in the Bay Area through business practices, not necessarily branding.
Awesome. All right. So we just officially crossed the hour mark about a minute ago. So we're going to wrap this up. I'm sure all of our viewers have plenty of questions. I have a whole bunch of questions, but again, we're going to keep doing this and, eventually create like a OnlyFans, Patreon, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, we should do that.
Yeah. But this is step one. It was great that Money Man came by. Thank you for showing up. You guys can catch this show. It's Up with Slump. Again, twice a week. We're going to figure out which days, but stay tuned. Stay tapped in. My Instagram is @allurbancentral_CEO. The company Instagram is @allurbancentral. So feel free to tap in through either accounts. Again, thank you, Josh, for coming. I am Smokey Slump. You feel me? Shout out to Block 125 for the exclusive Dope Boy merch. You see everybody got this thing on. And we out.
Appreciate it.
All right.